Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a seafood, lobster and shrimp macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to let you know the ingredients that I'm going to use. I have my several different cheeses here. I have mozzarella, I have triple cheddar, sharp cheddar, Colby Jack, and then I also have another pack of Colby Jack and triple cheddar that will go on the top. So here I have my seafood, my lobster tails, and my large shrimp. And then my other ingredients that I'm going to be using is Kerrygold butter, sour cream, elbow macaroni, heavy whipping cream, and the seasonings of my choice. And as you can see, I have my water and chicken broth boiling for my elbow macaroni noodles. So I'm going to go ahead and get my elbow macaroni noodles poured into the pot. I am going to bring those to a boil and I'm going to continue to stir them so they do not stick. So here my noodles are done and I'm just draining them. Do not rinse your noodles. So I'm going to let them cool for just a minute. And then I am going to switch them to another bowl. So here I am transferring them into a different bowl where you are going to see me add a couple of pieces of the Kerrygold butter. I'm going to give this a good stir to make sure it gets all within my noodles. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cool. And then I will be adding 2 eggs. You want to make sure you let it cool some because if you add the eggs right now while it's this hot, the eggs will begin to cook. So my noodles have cooled. I'm adding my 2 eggs. And I'm going to go ahead and get those mixed in very well. And then I'm going to go ahead and let my noodles sit. And I'm going to start on my seafood. So I am mixing the eggs within the noodles very, very well. So here I have my seafood. I am going to go ahead and season my seafood with my onion powder. And then I am seasoning with my Badia Complete Seasoning. And then I'm going to go in with, I believe this was my adobo seasoning. And now I am using my garlic blend. And then I am going in with just a little bit of the Knorr chicken seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my seafood over. And I'm going to repeat the steps and season the other side. And once I have my seafood seasoned, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of paprika. And now you see me just cutting up my shrimps and my lobster tail into bite-sized pieces. I don't want to cut them too small. I do want to keep them chunky. So therefore you will get a bite or two in every spoonful of the macaroni and cheese. And I believe I used 4 lobster tails for this. And this one was maybe about 11 large shrimp. So I have my skillet heated with my butter. And now I'm just adding my lobster tail and my shrimps to the skillet. And I'm going to give this a little sear. Now I'm not going to cook this too long because the shrimps were already pre-cooked. So we're going to go ahead and get this cooked, and we're going to just keep stirring. And you don't want your seafood to burn, so cook it on a medium heat. And just remember also that your seafood is going to cook in the oven also. So I'm just continuing to stir my seafood. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cook. And then I'm going to start on my cheese sauce. So I have some Kerrygold butter melting in the pot. You do not want to cook this on a high heat or too fast because you don't want your butter to burn. And then I am adding some heavy whipping cream. So I'm going to get that mixed very well. And you want to remember to continue to stir. You do not want your milk and your butter to burn. And now I am adding some sour cream and chives. I like to add this to my seafood macaroni and cheese. It just gives it a different flavor. And it gives it not a tang, but it's hard to explain. It gives it a great flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed and melted in and continue to stir. You can use regular sour cream. I like to use the sour cream and chives. So now I am adding some of my cheeses to my sauce mixture. I am not adding a lot of cheese because I'm going to also add some cheese to the dish of the macaroni. So once you get all your cheeses that you're going to put into your sauce added in, you want to give it a stir and continue to stir so it does not stick. And as you can see, this is a sauce that's on the lighter side. It is a seafood mac, so I do like to keep the cheeses a little bit lighter than normal if I was doing a regular macaroni and cheese. But I am going to add a little bit of paprika to this. So I'm adding some more cheeses. And as you can see here, I'm adding some paprika. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some seasonings to my cheese sauce, which you're going to see me add some onion powder, some garlic blend, some Badia Complete seasoning, and a little bit of the Knorr chicken bouillon seasoning. And then I added some black pepper. So you want to go ahead and get this well incorporated, give it a good stir. And remember, you can always add, but you can't take away. So you want to season your cheese sauce, if you would like, to your preference. So as you can see, my sauce is very cheesy. And no, I did not add flour to my roux. You do not have to. And your sauce still will thicken for your cheese. I am adding my macaroni noodles and I'm going to get those stirred in. And I'm going to go ahead and get those macaroni noodles and cheese well combined and give it a stir. And make sure I get this cheese mixed throughout all of the macaroni noodles. So once I get this stirred together, well incorporated, And then I'm going to go ahead and add my seafood. And as you can see, it is seared. It has a nice color. It smells amazing. So I do like to season my seafood and my cheese sauce. So once I go ahead and get this seafood mixed into the macaroni noodles, I go ahead and get my baking dish. And I'm going to butter my baking dish with some of the Kerrygold butter. And make sure I get the sides and the bottom so my macaroni does not stick or burn. So now you're going to see me pour some of my macaroni and cheese into the pan. And then I'm just going to make sure it's spread it out evenly. And here is where I'm going to add the other half of that cheese. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix it together and go ahead and layer it. This is why it is called macaroni and cheese. In my opinion, as long as you have the right blend, you can never have too much cheese. So here I am adding the second layer of my seafood and macaroni and cheese. And I'm going to go ahead and get that spread out evenly. And I'm going to put the last layer of cheese. So as you can see, my macaroni and cheese is not all the way to the top. You want to leave some space between the macaroni and cheese and the top of your dish. It gives it room because the cheese, it will rise some, but it will not overflow. So therefore, if you leave some space and it does rise and then you have the butter, you don't have to worry about the leakage and the butter spilling over into the oven. Okay, so here I'm adding some of the Kobe Jack Kraft cheese. And then I'm going to add some of the Kraft triple cheddar. I usually cut up my cheeses, but for this dish, I did the shredded cheese already pre-shredded, and it came out amazing. And one thing I can say is when I, excuse me, when I layer my cheese and I do the last layer, I like to use the Kraft cheese because I noticed out of all the cheeses that I use, it melts the best. So I'm going to go ahead and put into the oven on 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes uncovered. So we're going to check on our macaroni and cheese. And as you can see, it is a golden brown. It looks delicious. So here we have our macaroni and cheese out of the oven. And if you can look at that goodness, that cheese and that butter that's bubbling around the edges, it smells amazing. So we did let our seafood macaroni and cheese cool for about 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put some on this plate and we're going to see what we have. And look at that cheese pull right there. Oh, this is amazing. I wish you guys can smell this. I wish you could taste this. And I dropped a little bit on the counter, which is fine. So we're just going to go ahead and give this macaroni and cheese a taste. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that cheese pull. Look at the shrimps and the lobster. And it sat for about 15 minutes and it still has the cheese pull. When I tell you this tastes amazing. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.